Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Kakistocracy edition of the God Squad pod. I am the tattooed theologian Dillon Desimber, and I am joined by my co-host, Desimber Rose. Good evening, Dee.
Good evening, good evening. We are here. We made it.
We are here on a heavy day. Sometimes there are poignant reminders of how precious life is. And for people like me who love Liverpool Football Club, that happened today when one of our players was killed and his brother.
Yes, I saw that in the car crash.
Yeah. And he had only been married for like 2 weeks, has 3 small, beautiful children. And that's hard. That's hard. Love is so multifaceted. We can love people we've never met. We can draw close to them in ways that don't necessarily make logical sense.
And we could just be human and understand the impact of tragedy. We don't even have to know. We don't have to know the people. Right. We don't have to know their families. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in close proximity to the person to feel their pain if you're in close proximity just to the purpose of life.
Right. So we mourn those who lose their lives way too early, whether it is a tragic accident or whether it is because of political malfeasance and horrific violence generated by hate-mongering politicians. And we try to remember that life is precious and beautiful and painful sometimes. And we got to keep on putting one foot in front of the other. And I think that's going to be a theme for tonight, is putting one foot in front of the other.
It's definitely going to be a theme.
The news this week has been pretty god-awful. Just damn near every day. I did not pay too much attention to what happened with the disgraced former hip-hop mogul, but I do understand that on the most serious charge, he went scot-free, and that's why women don't report, and those kinds of things shouldn't happen. Predators getting off and not being held to account is how we got to where we are today in this fucking country.
Yeah. John Suarez said, hello, I don't know why I said let's have therapy when I share this, because this is going to be a therapy session for us tonight.
Yeah.
So welcome, John, Beth, who we got here, Elaine, Judy. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being so faithful to our show. It has been kind of a heavy day, but we maintain hope. As far as Diddy is concerned, he did get convicted of 2 charges, and which can be up to 20 years for what he did get convicted for. So, Elaine says, why anyone would report is beyond me. Victim is always blamed. Normally, the victim is blamed. That's just, especially if it's a woman. You know how that is. We're always to blame. We're to blame for getting pregnant. We're to blame for divorce. We're to blame for everything. The burden is always there. But apparently he did get convicted of 2 charges. So he is going to do time, and he was denied bail.
Yeah.
He wanted to be out while he waits on sentencing, and the judge was like, nah.
No.
Even your own attorney said you were violent toward these 2 women that we did retain charges. No. And then he had been involved in some witness tampering since he'd been in there, and he's done, so they're like, no, bro, you ain't getting out. You might as well just hang tight. So what's up, Judy Kowalski Rice? Good to see you, hun. I haven't seen you on here in a good little while. So the big ugly bill did pass today.
Yeah.
Uh, 218 and a 214 was all Democrats and 2 Republicans um, opposing. So Massey uh, wasn't playing. He did not flip back.
No, neither did the guy from Pennsylvania who's in a purple district and knew if he
Ryan
voted for that stuff.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they said what they meant what they said. They did vote with the Democrats not to pass this bill.
And Lisa Murkowski just etched her name into the villainous history of the United States.
She can go to hell with her good old front ass. She always got something to say and ain't doing shit.
Cowardice, absolute cowardice to say, I voted for this. Please don't vote for it when it goes back to the House. What a wishy-washy, weak-kneed, milquetoast.
Don't do what I say, don't do what I do. What kind of sense does that make? So if it's not good enough for people in the House to vote for it, it's not good enough for you to vote for it, chick. Right. What's really, what?
Yeah. And I saw Stephen King posted something, I think it was Stephen King, about how Susan Collins and Murkowski would kind of bounce the ball back and forth and say, I can say no this time and you can say no next time kind of thing. And, you know, just weak capitulation to Project 2025. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating to feel like all of us who spent more than a year warning people, this is the playbook. It's 900 pages of fascist, are you fucking kidding me? And they chose to not show up to the polls or to not vote for Kamala Harris or whatever. And now here we are.
Yep. And Republicans are so full of shit. It's always the deficit, the deficit, the deficit, the deficit, the deficit, the deficit, the debt, the debt, the debt. Until it's something until they're in office. They do this. It's a cycle. It's you could bet good money on this if you could bet on it. That they spout that shit 90 miles per hour going north every election season, and then they do this. They just put 3.4 or 5 trillion on the debt.
Yeah, depending on
and then the real shady thing to me is some of the more damaging things, they scheduled that stuff to not take place until Trump is out of office.
Right.
Like these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. If it was so wonderful, why wouldn't it start next year?
Right.
Oh, you don't want to start in 2026? Why you want to wait till 2028 if it's so wonderful?
And then yesterday, in an unconstitutional move, the president impounded funds that were supposed to be for the Department of Education or for education. And he said, no, you can't have them. That is illegal. That's called impoundment. And that's what Russell Vogt was arguing for when he said that that's legal, and it is not. And now like $6 billion that was supposed to go to children's education has been pulled. And people are losing their services. Their kids are going to lose services in those schools, after school programs, summer school programs, all that kind of stuff. Because of the malfeasance of the Republican Party. And this goes all the way back to 2015 when that Mango Mussolini came down that fucking escalator and started talking about them not sending their best people and all that stuff. The media did not do its job. Instead of calling him out, they used him as a way to get ratings. Mm-hmm. They didn't tell the fucking truth about what was what. They just used him to boost their shareholders price and all that kind of stuff. And now here we are. And institutional norms have not been the same since that time when he came down that fucking escalator. Mm-hmm. Things have not been right. And I'm running out of spoons, y'all. I'm telling you, this shit is hard to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
It
And I'm
is.
clothed, housed, and fed. And I got health care because, well, at least for now, because of the VA. But
I'm going to
all
read
these
this.
people,
Yep,
yeah,
yep. This John Suarez says senators from blue states often vote for disaster relief, even when the disasters hit red states. No
yep,
special carve outs, no political payback, just help because people are hurting. Actual Homo sapiens, not just voters or donors. Meanwhile, some senators from red states hesitate. They'll fight for institutional interests, they'll defend ideological battles, but when it's legislation that directly affects human lives, housing, healthcare, food disaster, suddenly there are strings, there are objections. I'm assuming there are carve outs.
yeah.
And he's exactly right.
Well, Trump didn't even send money to North Carolina after the hurricane.
No, but you know what? And what's so crazy about it is, you remember how he talked about Biden concerning specifically about North
Oh,
Carolina,
yeah.
and Biden's not helping. And then where is Biden at? He's not helping the folks of North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina. When I'm president, I'm gonna help you.
And
Yeah,
then he
and
just
then he
said,
wants to
nah.
cancel FEMA altogether.
Yeah. He just said, nah,
Nah,
no.
y'all work it out. And see, the thing about that is, what's so crazy to me about all these southern states and how they vote and do is most southern states, if not all, are taker states.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They receive more federal funding in every kind of way than all the other states. The blue states help take care of the red states.
100%. Yep.
But you're somewhere trying to cut this and cut that and cut this and cut that. I'm gonna tell you something. All the things that are meant to help the people are gonna hit the red states the hardest, because the
Yeah.
red states are the poorest states. They have some of the most rural areas. They have some of the most people below the poverty line. They have some of the most people on Medicaid, Medicare, disability, SNAP, TANF, all those things.
Yeah. A hospital in Nebraska already closed because they saw the bill getting passed.
And they
And
know.
and so they closed today before the bill's even been signed. And it was in a district where like 80% of the voters voted for Mango Mussolini.
They're going to
And
see.
now they're going to pay. And there's a whole lot of nothing out in the middle of Nebraska. Those people have to drive God only knows how far now to get care, if they get it at all.
They're going to see. They're going to see just what it's going to cost them to follow behind this man. He does not care about any of y'all. If
I
you're
mean,
not
he
in his
said it.
tax bracket, he don't give a damn. And if by chance you do get some kind of blessing here or there, it's just so he can do the thing he wants to do for the folks that's in his tax bracket. It ain't because that was the goal.
Right.
It's because
Right.
that was collateral as part of what he was trying to get to.
Yeah. I don't care about you. I just need your vote. Actual words from the President of the United States while he was running for president to his own voters. I do not care about you. It was one of the few times on the campaign trail that bloviating fuckwit told the truth.
And do you remember when the tax, where the bill there was a bill or law or whatever it was that went into effect, that was gonna beef up the IRS so that they could go after all this money that's getting through the system that people are slipping through, and which was working. And you remember how the Republicans painted that? They're like, they're gonna come knock on your doors. They're just gonna be the Gestapo.
Yeah.
Remember all that what they were saying? And now in this bill, let me read this. It says the Medicaid changes will mostly take effect starting fiscal year 2027, but immigration authorities will immediately get $150 billion for Trump's mass deportation agenda, including $45 billion for new detention centers. So the prison system about to be booming. And $29 billion. So now we getting close to 300 billion for new immigration and customs enforcement agent. 29 billion with a B. Do you remember how they fell out when they wanted to hire some IRS agents?
Right.
29 billion with a B for ICE agents.
Mm-hmm.
The money for detention centers alone is more than 5 times the annual budget of the U.S. Bureau of Prisons.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And now they're also mulling over this idea of denaturalizing people and deporting U.S. citizens. You know, that's the conversation now. Which,
oh, that was the memo. I saw the memo. It said we are doing this now,
mm-hmm.
and it's utterly crazy. And the last one, there's like a list of 10 reasons why people could be denaturalized, and the last one is so vague that it could be anybody.
They make it vague on purpose so they could throw anybody in that bucket. It could be a catch-all. You said something they don't like on social media.
Yeah.
And now you're the Department of Homeland Security, a threat.
Yeah.
Because ain't that what they're doing to the gentleman from the university that they had to let go? They finally had to let him out. What's his name? Is Mahmoud? What's his name?
Mahmoud Khalil.
Yes. That's what they're doing to him. Because he ain't broke not nary a law.
No, not one. And they've already talked about arresting Mamdani. Trump said, but yeah, for being brown and having a voice. That's it.
And having the nerve to win an election.
Yeah.
Because had he not won, this wouldn't be a conversation.
No.
Where was all this conversation when he was running for office? But I guess since he won, now he needs to be deported. I guess since he won, now he needs to be denaturalized. Wasn't he already in the government before he won that governorship, won that election? Wasn't he already in politics? So, but now since he won, now we want to have these conversations? Okay.
Yeah, he's a New York assemblyman already.
Yeah. So why do we need to denaturalize him when he became an assemblyman? Why we didn't need to deport him then?
Right.
He getting too high up now.
Yeah, he's not politically convenient anymore. And neither is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who, I don't know if you saw, but he said in his deposition or whatever, it was reported that he lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks in that prison in El Salvador. And that they made them kneel from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And they were packed in there like sardines. And if they fell over, somebody would hit them.
That's torture.
So, yeah.
And imagine being sent down there and you don't even have a criminal record. You don't have a crime from the country you came from, nor America.
Yeah. And he's in jail now because that's the safest place for him. Imagine that. He's committed no crimes. And he's in jail because it's the safest way to keep him from being deported by Trump's ICE Gestapo bullshit. And I'm old enough to remember when they were like, well, if people would just come legally, we're not going to go after the legal.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they are doing. Come to your hearings, come to your parole hearings, come to your court dates, come to your immigration meetings at the immigration office. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where they're picking you up.
And it's all because Stephen Miller wants.
Never mind going to get the criminals. We're going to get the people who's doing it the right way.
Because Miller wants his quota filled. Miller has an insatiable appetite for hatred of brown people, of any kind of immigrants. He has a hatred that is, I don't know how the man could even be alive with that much hate inside his body. But he wants 3,000 people a week, is the last I heard, to be detained. And that's why they have to go after people who are here legally.
Yeah, because there ain't enough.
They've never all the things. They're being scapegoated and criminalized when they didn't do anything wrong. And that to me is infuriating.
When they did everything right.
Exactly. Right. They did all the things.
To the border, presented themselves the way they were supposed to, got their appointment, stayed there until didn't try to sneak through, came to their appointment, got their dates, and came to all their court dates, came to all their immigration appointments, doing everything right, and find themselves on a plane headed to God knows where.
They could be going to South Sudan. They could be going to, well, because the Supreme Court decided that it's okay for Trump to send people from countries here to countries that they didn't come from.
I don't even understand that. You're literally stranding someone in a foreign country, because how the hell did they get away from there? I don't understand that at all.
I don't need other than,
I don't have a most of these folks don't have a passport.
Right.
So you strand me in a foreign country. How the hell am I even getting away from there? I probably don't have my ID. I might not have a birth certificate. How do I even I'm trapped in a foreign country, and not even just a foreign country, but a foreign country that has a lot of civil unrest.
Yeah. Because just Google what's happening in South Sudan and has been happening for a few years now.
I don't even know how that's even legal. And why the hell can't you just send me back to the country I came from?
Right.
I don't understand that. And I guess maybe it's the folks who their country won't deal with Trump or something, or won't accept them back. My whole thing is then you hold them here in prison. How are you going to just send them to a random country? Why is that even legal?
Well, it's only a misdemeanor to be here without papers. It's not an imprisonable offense. And so this is just the cruelty is the point kind of stuff. And this goes right back to what I was saying about the institutional norms haven't been the same. Mitch McConnell refused to appoint Merrick Garland when that was the constitutional duty that he had to do. And he didn't do it. And now we got Brett fucking Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett and all that other stuff, because institutional norms didn't hold. So Mitch McConnell can step on a Lego every night for the rest of his damn life.
Because he might do that without even you wishing it upon him, because he on a slippery pill right now.
I mean,
on a slippery pill.
It's awful, and it's so heavy that I just don't know how people are making it through the day trying to do normal things, because because people know people that these things are happening to, whether it's the immigration stuff or the loss of healthcare or SNAP or education benefits or what have around the whole gamut of all of this Trumpian cacistocracy and hate. And I have no idea how people that are directly dealing with all of these things, including my co-host, because there's immigration stuff happening there, and people are just expected to get up and go to work the next day, or clean out the cat box, or take out the trash. Like, it's taken monumental effort just to do normal quotidian shit on a daily basis right now. And
it is a lot. It's heavy. But what you got for us for the fundamentalist fuckwit of the week?
Well, this should come as absolutely a surprise to absolutely no damn body, because the fundamentalist fuckwittery this week is brought to you by the Republican Party. Every one of them. Because this is on them. And this is some antichrist stuff that they're doing on a daily fucking basis. And I want to show you this picture that Senator Warnock posted on his Twitter. This is Republicans in the Senate praying.
Don't tell me they're praying for this bullshit.
They are praying that the bill that will take health care away from up to 12 million people and SNAP benefits for millions more will pass. They are praying. This is the dictionary definition of taking God's name in vain. I saw a thing the other day from a Bible teacher, professor, and it said something to the effect of, if you want to know what makes God mad, go read the prophets. And I have read a lot of the prophets. Yesterday, I was digging into Isaiah, the first 10 chapters. And multiple times in the first 10 chapters of Isaiah, God expresses his discontent through the prophet and how the poor and the marginalized were being treated, and how he was going to take care of business because that's how the prophet Isaiah saw things. And I had to watch Mike Johnson, a member of the largest Protestant denomination in the country, a hate group, the Southern Baptist Convention, stand there today and gloat and smug with a smugness that I'm telling y'all I would locate, close with, and destroy my fucking enemy like I was trained to do in the Marine Corps if that clown walked in the room. Because he started lying from the second his mouth opened about how this was going to be good for all of the American people and all of the the benefits were going to be from the bottom up. And he was talking about how we're the party of accountability. No, there's a 34 convicted felon in the White House right now who incited a coup attempt that got people killed. Y'all don't care about accountability. Not even a little bit. And then he started talking about how hardworking Americans are going to be taking more of their money home. I seem to recall Desimber breaking that down one night on this show, showing that it was going to be the really rich people that's going to be taking home a lot more money.
Yeah.
But a lot of people in the middle, not so much.
People who need it the most are losing money.
Yeah. The people that need it the most are losing money. And they're talking about, oh, well, we're going to get the people who, you could tell that they had some kind of meeting. And they were like, we got to harp on the guys in their mama's basement playing video games who aren't working, who are able-bodied, and they're on Medicare. So that's the stereotype that they use this time to say this stuff about the bill. But we know 12 million people in Lancaster County, where Lloyd Smucker proudly voted for this big bogus boondoggle. Nearly 14,000 people in this county are going to lose their Medicaid. 5,000 plus people are going to lose their SNAP benefits. That is Lloyd Smucker, who did that shit on purpose and claims to be a Christian.
And I got a post later from someone who's probably a professed Christian.
Then you've got the Republican Party jumping up and down about bombing Iran. When A, it didn't obliterate shit, it set them back, and B, it was unconstitutional, and C, it's not going to bring Jesus back. Everything they do is literally the opposite of what you will find in this particular book, the New Testament. Woe to you who are rich, said Jesus of Nazareth. You've already been comforted. Woe to you who are full. You're done. And I'm serious. There are 2,000 verses in the Bible about how the poor are being abused and how God does not like that. And that's what this is all about. Every single thing that they do is to help those who already have plenty.
Their whole thing that they want to do is help the people that have plenty. The only reason that they have anything in this bill that helps anybody else is just so they can be able to say that they had something that, you know what I'm saying? That's the only reason they have anything in here that helps anybody else.
Right.
It's just to prop up what they want to really do. That's it.
And the things that they put in there, like the no tax on tips, Oh, that's a boondoggle too. That's a boondoggle too. There's all kinds of rigmarole that people that are on tips are going to have to do, and they have to reach a certain threshold, or it ain't going to count as no tax on tips.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, what they're doing to immigrants, whether they are documented or undocumented, whether they are legal asylum seekers or now naturalized citizens, they are targeting and scapegoating people just for performative fascism because they're hate filled. And Mike Johnson talked about how it was a victory that the University of Pennsylvania is going to strike from the records the transgender swimmer Leah Thomas's victories, as if that is a victory. There are like less than 20 NCAA athletes, and that's what you people are focusing on. You're pointing your hate on people who are different than you, who are created in the image of God, and you're calling it a victory. Everything that he listed off as a victory was some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And he just lied over and over and over again until I could not listen anymore.
I couldn't listen. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 of them lies in, and I was like, I can't listen to this bullshit. And they said they always have that. I don't know how to explain it. They always have that smug.
Oh, it was.
You know what I mean? I don't even know how to explain it. It's a look, it's a sound, and it's just like, oh, it makes you want to punch him in the throat. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain what it is, but it's a whole presence, a whole vibe that's just so ratchet and nasty and wicked. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it makes you feel dirty just listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And the amount of righteous anger that I was feeling while that was going on, I mean, I thought I was going to erupt. And it's that smugness, that disingenuousness, that
gaslighting,
that serpent in the Garden of Eden kind of energy that he's bringing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's why this week the fundamentalist fuckwittery is brought to you by the Republican Party. These people, as our friend Rabbi Seth Goldstein said, they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill you. So I don't know. I prayed today that somebody would have an epiphany, or 10 million somebodies would have an epiphany on how to reverse this shit. How, and without violence. I'm not talking about violence, y'all. I'm a pacifist. I abhor violence. And there are people that are a lot different than me out there. And they're getting pushed and their backs are up against the wall right now. And they may not feel it today. But as these things start to take effect,
it's a snowball. You
watch the wailing and the gnashing of teeth that's about to happen in this country.
Because this will manifest in so many ways in the coming years, and it will have to be righted at some point. Beth said there are moments I have to give in and weep for a moment. And earlier on, John said that you could call him, a sissy or whatever you want to call, but he also has those moments. I just want to say to anyone who is having those moments that doesn't make you weak.
No.
Last time I checked, Jesus wept. That didn't make him weak. Having empathy for the people that will be impacted by this bill, feeling compassion toward people who are the millions of people who are going to lose their health care, toward children who are having programs canceled, to students, to immigrants, to even people as part of the U.S. aid programs where we were feeding children, where we were keeping AIDS from spreading, where we were maintaining peace through service.
Right.
That's really power. That was really kingdom business that we were doing over there.
Yeah.
That really was ministry. U.S. aid, that was ministry. That was diplomacy through ministry.
And did you see what Rubio said about it? He's like, we're not going to, And this is, again, Republican fundamentalist fuckwittery. That dude sold his soul to the devil to be Secretary of State. And he said, we are not going to be doing that anymore. U.S. aid is going to be tied to the president's agenda. And he was celebrating the fact that U.S. aid was no more on a day that it was reported that 14 million people are going to die as a result of that political choice.
Speaking of celebrating, you have a video though.
Yes.
I want to make sure I don't jump over you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. This is a poignant video, and hopefully Desimber, with her technical wizardry, can make this happen, because this is James Earl Jones reading Frederick Douglass's "What to the Slave is the 4th of July" speech from, I believe it was 1852. So if you could fast forward it to the 110 mark, that's when he starts.
219. We're inching up on 4th of July tomorrow. I know a lot of people aren't feeling particularly free. I feel personally like we're taking a step back every day under the leadership of Trump. We're retreating from freedom as a country.
Yes.
So hear this. I believe it's going to be deep and impactful.
Citizens, pardon me, and allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude?
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened there. I think we just lost Desimber.
Can y'all hear
For
that?
blessings
Okay, there we
resulting
go.
from your independence to us, I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens, to mock me by asking me to speak today? What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days of the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is a constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your boasted liberty, an unholy license. Your national greatness, swelling vanity. Your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence. Your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy. a thin veil to cover up crimes that would disgrace a nation of savages. There's not a nation of the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument, is needed. Oh, had I the ability and could reach the nation's ear, I would today pour forth a stream, a fiery stream of biting ridicule, blasting reproach, withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke. For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, the earthquake. The feeling of the nation must be quickened. The conscience of the nation must be roused. The propriety of the nation must be startled. The hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed, and the crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced.
James Earl Jones.
That was powerful.
And that is what still needs to happen. Over 170 years ago, that speech was made. I will not celebrate the 4th of July until there is a Truth and Reconciliation Commission for African Americans, for Native Americans, for queer Americans, for immigrant Americans. I will not celebrate until we start to live up to the highest ideals that we say that we have. And before Desimber, before you get to your part, I just want to read this that Beth said. It is so painful as my career for over 20 years was running USAID grants and contracts, which for me was indeed a ministry. Thank you for saying that.
It is.
And there's the impact right there. She used to help the people, and now those kinds of grants and things are going away because Marco Rubio decided that he wanted to make a Faustian bargain so that he could be even closer to the highest seat of power, because being a senator wasn't enough for him. Jesus had a lot to say about stuff like that. But Marco, who likes to throw Bible verses around, apparently he didn't get the memo. And did you hear Mike Johnson say, we heard a lot of scripture today, most of it was taken out of context?
I heard that, clown.
Oh my gosh. I almost exploded into trillions of subatomic particles at that moment. Because again, the man is a Southern Baptist. And the Southern Baptist Convention is a hate group. You will not convince me otherwise. What you got?
That was deep. That was deep. I got I there's so many motherfuckers to choose from on a weekly basis that it's hard to choose. But I want you to take a look at this. This happened today. After the bill passed, Logical Luminary posted 17 million people just lost health care. 18 million kids just lost school meals. 3 million Americans just lost food assistance. And do you see what Congressman Derek Van Orden of Wisconsin posted?
Yeah.
You see that shit? Yes.
With his whole chest.
In all caps, because apparently just, yay, wouldn't been sufficient. So, yes, 17 million people just lost health care. Yes, 18 million kids just lost school meals. Yes, 3 million Americans just lost food assistance. And then he deleted it. Why you delete it, Derek? Maybe because you knew that was some wicked shit. And the problem is, I bet you this man fancies himself a Christian.
Oh, I would not doubt it at all.
I bet you he's not an atheist. He's not a Buddhist. He's not Hindu. He's not Muslim for sure. I bet you he calls himself a Christian. And I don't know what made him delete it, but I know what made him post it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When he posted, yes, that was who he really was.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they really are. When he deleted it, it was him thinking about the consequences of posting it and being as himself as he was in that moment. Because some of these folks get it twisted. They are not Donald Trump. They don't have Teflon. They can't just say what they want to say and do what they want to do and come out on the other side unscathed. Some of them have figured that out. Some of them haven't, but a lot of them have. So when he posted, yes, that's who he was. That was his knee-jerk reaction. That was his reflex to the bill getting passed. When he deleted it, that was him saying, oh shit, I might have messed up. That might have not. I might not should celebrate. You know what I'm saying? That 17 million people going to lose their health care. I might should, just keep that little low celebration on the wraps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This motherfucker right here and everyone like him. Oh boy, the Speaker of the House. All those Republicans, these motherfuckers right here. All these people that claim to be Christian, that claim to know God, that claim to believe in God, that claim to know who Jesus Christ is. All these motherfuckers go to hell because let me tell you, what would Jesus do? All you got to do, and this is in the book, I think it might be Matthew DeStefano's chapter. Don't let me get to line who chapter this was, but in our book that we just released, The Unchristian Truth About White Christian Nationalism, all you got to look is at what MAGA does to find out what Jesus wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do. Sally says that Jesus, he will not recognize. He will not. He will not. We've read Matthew 25, and it was read on the floor today by leader Hakeem Jeffries. We've read that. He will say, depart from me.
I know you not.
I don't know y'all motherfuckers. He ain't gonna say it like that. That's how I'm gonna say it. I don't know y'all motherfuckers. You know what? Because you don't know me. You don't know me if you're taking food out of children's mouths. You don't know me if you're taking health care from seniors. You don't know me if you're taking aid and services away from people overseas in countries who are in dire straits by the aid of the United States. Let me tell you another reason why U.S. aid is over there where they were at. That was some healing work that the country was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the United States of America been involved in a whole lot of shady shit all over the world, specifically Africa.
Yep.
So that wasn't just soft diplomacy. That was, we know what hand we had in this. We know what hand we've had in these wars, these genocides, these restricting entire nations and countries and peoples, relegating them to the trash heap of poverty and desolation. We know what hand we've had in it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one way of many that we're trying to make it a little bit right. And that, don't think that that's lost on the Trump administration. They know that too. They just don't give a damn.
No, you're helping too many. You're helping too many black and brown people. You're helping too many people. Too many people that don't look like me.
Don't look like me.
Gold toilets and gold flecked mirrors and all that.
They ain't in my tax bracket. They don't have my color skin. And you know that by them, just even them bringing the South Africans over here.
Yeah.
People weren't under threat of danger. They didn't present themselves to the country for asylum. They gave them an invitation, a plane ticket, and a check. to come up. Can you believe that shit? But no African can do that.
No.
You can't even get over here with a visa right now.
Right? And and you know that more than anybody.
I know this personally. All I want to say is this: we cannot lose sight of who we are as a people while you got someone in office who lost sight of who and what we are as a country. You can't afford to individually. We have to hold on to who we are as a people individually and collectively. This is a time right now where you got to hold on to your identity and your integrity, your individual integrity. You got to hold on with both hands and feet. Because if not, you will become a depressed, cynical, pessimistic, person with a view of the world that is so dark that it will consume you. You cannot afford to be consumed. I'm speaking to my brother Dillon. I'm speaking to Beth. I'm speaking to John. I'm speaking to Sally. I'm speaking to Judy. I'm speaking to all y'all. You cannot afford to be consumed by something that's going to be temporary.
All tyrants fall.
All tyrants fall. And we got a system in this country where you can't become a tyrant if you want to. You got two bites at that apple. That's it. Fuck what Donald Trump is talking about. He's not getting a third term. He will get you thought it was insurrection on January 6th. Let that motherfucker try not to leave office in 2028. Even people that were on his side will turn against him. We're not.
Van Orden was there, by the way. I just
again?
looked him up. That Derek Van Orden guy, he was at the Capitol for the riot. He was part of that. And he is a Protestant. So yeah. Once again, taking God's name in vain.
I am not surprised. I am not surprised by any of that. Elaine says this will be temporary. It's a cult, a personality. He will be gone. He will. And I'm just saying, hang on. Hang on. I'm going to play this video real quick. Can I play this video? Dylan, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem Jeffries did a 9-hour speech today. About 9 hours. Prior to this bill being passed. I think he now holds the record for the longest speech on the Senate floor. It was Senate so powerful.
Oh no! Wait a minute. It was Cory Booker that did the Senate, wasn't it?
It was so powerful. We're not going to play the whole thing, but I want to play some of it because I believe it will encourage you. I believe it'll give you some hope, and I believe it'll empower you. And we got to be able to look toward the future. Yeah. We got to be able to look forward. We have to be able to look forward, or we will fall in the present and drown in the past. We have to look forward. Okay, so I'm going to play this. And I want you to listen with your heart and your spirit. And be encouraged by it. Let me see where we're going to start.
On some of our civil rights heroes and foot soldiers.
Yes, yes.
Those whose character, whose conviction, whose courage should give the American people hope at a moment of great despair. Many of us had the great honor of serving with Congressman John Lewis. The great honor, Mr. Speaker, to serve with Congressman John Lewis.
That's right.
And I came across something that John Lewis said in June of 2028, that hopefully, no matter what the outcome of this vote, will give people some hope. Great John Lewis said, "Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime." That's our struggle. No matter what, Mr. Speaker, you decide to do today, that's our struggle. Standing on the shoulders of John Lewis, that's our struggle. Never ever be afraid to make some noise and get into good trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. Standing on the shoulders of giants. John Lewis would often talk to us about his admiration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King, who would refer to John Lewis as the boy from Troy.
The boy from Troy.
Now, what's interesting to me, that civil rights movement, we can learn a lot from it. Started December of 1955. And Rosa Parks sat down on that bus so that all of us could have the courage to stand up.
That's right.
Wasn't an easy struggle. All the odds were stacked against these civil rights heroes and foot soldiers. And during the early days of the movement, a difficult part of the movement, Dr. King, after they've been targeted, arrested, beaten, harassed by the authorities, he traveled to Brooklyn, New York.
Yes. Brooklyn.
And spoke at the Concord Baptist Church. I think it was in March of 1956. And he said to a group of people of every race, every religion, every life experience, the Concord Baptist Church in Bedford-Stuyvesant, said to them, no matter what the odds, we've got to press on.
Press on. Press on. Press on.
Dr. King said that if you can't fly, run.
That's right.
If you can't run, walk.
That's right.
If you can't walk, crawl. But at all times, press on.
Press on. Press on.
And keep pressing.
Press on.
And so as I take my seat, I just want to say to the American people that no matter what the outcome is on this singular day,
Fight forward.
we're going to press on. We're going to press on. We're going to press on. We're going to press on for our children, press on for our seniors, press on for our veterans, press on for our unions, press on for our farmers, press on for our dreamers, press on for working class Americans, press on for the middle class, press on for all who aspire to be part of the middle class, press on for the poor, press on for the sick, press on for the afflicted, press on for the least, press on for the lost, press on for the left behind, press on for the rule of law, press on for the American way of life, press on for democracy. We're going to press on until victory is won. I yield back.
So I hope that was encouraging to you. We have to press on. because this guy in the White House is temporary. He ain't got, but he on the last quarter of his life. Not only is he temporary in the office, he's temporary in this earth. I refuse to wrap my entire existence around a clown that is not only going to be in the office for only 3 years, he ain't even going to be in the earth that much longer. I refuse, and you should too, to let my heart, mind, and soul be dictated by whatever this wannabe dictator does in that office every day. I refuse to wake up and be depressed about a demon sitting in the Oval Office. I refuse. Okay? And I want you to refuse too. It's a choice you got to make to press. Okay? To press on. You got to wake up every day and decide, not today, Satan. Whatever that is, if you got to turn the news off, if you got to not hear that clown's voice, because I don't know about y'all, but that motherfucker's voice breaks my nerves like nails on the chalkboard. Whatever you have to do. And I'm going to give you a word on the street right quick as we get ready to wrap up in on the heels of that sermon by Hakeem Jeffries today. This Philippians 4 through 13, it says, rejoice. And listen, if even we got agnostics, we got atheists, we got all kind of folks who listen and watch our show. Take the meat and leave the bones. If it ain't for you, that's okay. Just take what you can and can what you take. Okay? Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, and this is important, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are noble, whatsoever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things and either get your mind on the right frequency. Squad, you can't afford to have your mind wrapped up in this motherfucker. Whatever things are lovely, pure, good report, virtuous, praiseworthy, get your mind on it. The things which you have learned and received and heard and saw me do. And the God of peace will be with you. It says, but I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at last your care for me has flourished again. Though you surely did care, but you lacked opportunity. For some, I've read that verse so many times, but for some reason that verse just came alive to me right now. Because we all care about what's going on right now, but we're not empowered to do anything about it too much. But our power is in pressing on. It said you surely did care, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am in to be content. I know how to be abased. I know how to abound. I know how to be up is what the scripture's saying. I know how to be up. I know how to be down is what it's saying. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. And here's what I want to leave you with. This is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you put whatever you want to put in that spot. But you can do all things by the power that's in you. Whatever power you subscribing to. I follow Christ. I don't call myself a Christian. Because I'll be damned if I be numbered with these motherfuckers that did this today.
Right.
I'll be damned if I be call myself the same thing that Mike Johnson called himself. I'll be damned if I call myself the same thing that Donald Trump act like he is, but every goddamn body around him, including the speaker and everybody else, know he's a motherfucking joke. But whatever source a power that you plug into and subscribe to. Lean in, plug in, settle into it, buckle up, and press on. You got to do it. You can't let the people that win a bill also win in your house, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit now. This country put 70-something million people, put them in the White House. He didn't put them in the throne of your heart and mind, soul, and body. Don't give him space that he didn't earn. Don't let him have a victory that he ain't even fought for with you personally, individually. He don't got that kind of power. Don't give it to him. Y'all understand? Now, I love you, but God loves you more. And that's the word on the street.
Thank you, D. I'm going to do something I ain't never done on this show before. I'm going to pray first. Just a second.
Go ahead.
Holy God. Holy shit. There are so many people hurting right now because of what the current occupant of the White House and his regime are doing. There are so many people, as John said, feeling like they're running on fumes, feeling like the slightest breath of wind could blow their candle out. And it seems so very dark right now. So I pray that all of those who need your tender care will be wrapped in your love and your grace, and will find that perseverance to press on.
Yes, Lord.
To press on, to press on. In the name of the one that we call the Prince of Peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Ain't nothing wrong with prayer. I believe that's the first time we prayed on this show.
I believe it is. But it seemed appropriate.
It is appropriate. It's always appropriate to pray in my mind. Always appropriate. Judy said, amen. John said, thank you. Elaine said she needed to hear that. Judy said, lead with love. Amen to that. Listen, y'all, we thank you and we appreciate you tuning in with us. We know it's been a heavy day. And undoubtedly, there'll probably be some heavy days going forward. But one thing we know is as long as you're waking up, doing that, you still living. You still got life. You still got opportunity. And we're going to be grateful for that. We're going to wake up with gratitude. We're going to reclaim our joy. We're going to be intentional about our joy. And we're not going to let that motherfucker have a seat in our house, our heart, our soul, our mind, and our spirit just because he got a fucking seat in that White House. You understand me? Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Evict that motherfucker right on out of your house. Out of your mind, out of your soul. You serve an eviction notice today. What did Auntie Maxine say? Reclaim your time.
That's right.
Reclaim your time right motherfucking right now. Understand? And every day going forward. All right. I think that's it for tonight. Dylan, what you think?
Yeah, that's our show, everybody. Take a look at the collective, QUOLLECTIVE. Use the code God Squad, and you'll get a discount of, I think, 10% off of the year annual subscription. Independent journalism by folks like us. So check that out. And remember to tune in next week. We're going to have Dr. Dan McClellan on the show at long last to talk about his book, The Bible Says So. So look forward to that. And keep on pressing on, y'all. That's
keep on
all.
pressing on. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Good night.
Good night.